Au ya you. You will lay a desire. Then I'd wear that power. Gaya gay, via Yatuya, Lisa Gay, I say, oh, me amurai, and by doing you, I'm of my trade, well, on it goes away. Alas, I go that Gianna, we say you. Papa Mora, get me up when anywhere, Momba Sivole. Sivole. L'arrangeur parmi national, très trop fort. We are glad that we want by say so where that you are. I want I go.
That's right.
Do a web play you go back for Monyo. Papa Yankita, petit, brother Fassoni. Kaidaka. Bena Paya was a go, Mambo Panjago. Apple blow a cafe. One was a young cafe. We are for them one money upper clay you can. None your see one. What's the cat to your way at your Emo Nested to With this one poke where they have it. Go on, yeah, I can't salute. Wo jata triyo pe atriyo de won e mo o nese to kan na pwesi zo popo ke we de yeble wo ya kanike na kon kete nyan be wewe na nyon sa o se bia ne e ya jo wale ya le sa du woja o yesu gba te wa kan ta yo bo kan dia ayi we ne o sai bobo da ji anu ana wi se yi wo ba I want to yoke like my need that boy. And yes, I'm going to buy them with Mwege. Hey, Imo, am I gay? What I want, I guess me, I'm done, and it the boy. Oh, Say, Bobo, that Giano, and I will you. So like it, I'm going to never go. Netoni and Layo. Opo just say, oh yeah, I'm a walking lever. Kaidaka, when it was to a jaco, let you know your way. I just know. This is what I say. Bobo, yeah. You like do I name one by one name on tele by Botamu, Tanyada. Daniel Clapper, Pinagasia. Baka on lage, de buesi bo, de buesi bibi. De tonya si do yoke no kwanya, de on se bo kwese dresi yo. Mango, bali bobo de kiano ana we se yo ba. Awide. Saibo. Igba tu ablanja bla edu eso, sei. Aje kwa na le ya gba tu ana aglonyo si yo ke. Wejo, Ibo. Saibo boba. Inge ke po panglo ku e jo bi panglo. On e client nya bo like e ba de de noa. Jojo wa se. Zona bandia na sulitan club de soule. Saibo bo de kiano ana we se yi wo ba. I'm done it. Saibo. So ba we. No brother, can't be a gospel. South Africa, your part, your way. Thank you for your work there and my one. I'm the Pope and Yaguba. Don't feel it, I say, oh, Clavodio. Say, back in where we are coming. Say, Bobo, that Yano, and I will say you over. About people, you in this room. Quamus, the man get daughter, Siko Bala. Kabo yo ase, ke pose du zo luke. Say ya re ase, ba ye no. Gen one day ye, yo pample yo de mo de ya now. Ari wo ase o ba ye, amo amora da o. Say bo de kia no na we say you. I wish so do di o ba ye. So pe no we. Saibo, 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 that young man with the Mon pop man dans le mel, oui, dans your man, dans ce loup. When you know I say, it's a mayo. That was the Yasu also wombo. When you I'm original, I say,
Oui, il a fait une chanson à Mobile Production, voilà. Et Mobile Production, c'est une structure qui est créée pour les jeunes qui sont dans le démon, pour les jeunes de l'US et tout. Mobile Production est là pour produire les jeunes talentueux, cachés, que les gens ignorent. Donc notre devoir, c'est de produire des talents cachés. Alors, il a fait un son pour Mobile Production.
Arrangé Eric Lodé, le don de Dieu pour la musique de l'Ouest. Je te détesterai jamais. Jamais, jamais, au grand jamais. Mon bien production, Abia Dia Oboa, Amounia Dron, moi et toi Pierre. Moye, Pierre, mon moye, moye, Pierre, mon moye, à toi Pierre qui a volé, Pierre, mon moye, ah Pierre, oui. Toi Pierre se prononcer, à toi Pierre qui a volé, à Corsia, oh, moye, Pierre, mon moye. Bossa bossa iko moye Pierre di mo were mangoye mo a Pierre di mo were mangoye mo Pierre we ha di a were Pierre mo moye to Pierre moye to Pierre moye to Pierre di a were ba lo poje yo di a were so no dunia emble Amado, let's apply. Jamone Chipayone, Mawaja Chipayone, Ja, Plebonena Kanyopo, Siabutiena, de Kanywe, Kanyon de Koga, Separi Playa, Piero Moye, Piero Moye, Piero Moye, Ogiarwa, Oyawesa. Moye, Jibla, no pigeon boba, Yeruno. Ma boye play Pierre away, Pierre Moye, mon plein production. Au Pierre, mon plein production. À ça au clan, Y'a un gueule au mot, le côté. Pierre Moye, Pierre Moye, Pierre Moye, Ericona, Pierre Moye, ah Chalicona, Pierre Moye, ah to Pierre Moye, Die na pa yeble, to Pierre die na pa yeble, ah nie Pierre, ah Pierre Pierre Moye, Erico Jato Pierre, Mare Bomu Jato Pierre, Erico de Bomu Jato Pierre, Miomo Daka, Jojalico Yopa, Opa la Yede Nani, Blake Kitchen, Jiao, Anade Bro Ajabe Atia, Nurwa de Kiabudia. Ono homono ne ka double sobo somo soble so danyo paseble asenyo na yeta esa ye dibo sanere e to Pierre jawe ke to Pierre point so weke to Pierre yiwa mo pa kaya no e ka sene la taya mo la osiane to Pierre ki agba ere papa ko kia o a to Pierre moye ah tu agba mo Moye, Malawi. Angela Joe, Machapa, Kayo, Taria Joe. Moye, Angelo, Moye. Oh, Mamma Bokebra. Yeah, Mamma Kebra, where you. Ah, je sais ma Jackie. Shadow, Mama, je sais Tania Kyo. Hada Nicola, Mebotia. Mada Nicola, Tania. Nicola Breto Yamo, Ojuachi. I put the way. Love when I'm like Chili Agia. Moye, Yaro Moye, 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 Yaro Moye, Moye, Ade, Moye, Moye.
Good evening, folks. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. We're here again to have conversation with you, and we're still trying to straighten up whatever it is I was trying to do. Good evening, welcome on LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you tuning in again this evening. It's a wonderful thing to do here. So let's have conversation. Friday afternoon, folks. We ask you to be safe. It's very important. If you have to go somewhere tonight, usually in the East Coast, Friday afternoon, that's when all of these things start happening. If you have to be somewhere tonight, if you have to drink, please follow the rules. My rules is this: if you have to drink tonight, if you go into somebody's house, if you want to drink, please introduce yourself to that person and give your key to the person. Have not only the key, give them $20 or $30 or so, even $40, and explain to this person, I'm going to be drinking tonight. But if you feel this is your house, if you feel that I'm drunk, don't give me my keys. The drinking might get me to say some things that perhaps might not be suitable. And if you want to kick me out, please just call me Uber and let them take me home. This is my address. You do that. And if you also, perhaps you feel the need to drink, and you don't even have to go anywhere. You stay home, get yourself whatever it is that you drink, and start drinking, and turn on LIBERIA Public Radio, and you and I can go at it. You can be laying down there all drunk and saying things, how I'm making story up, how I'm not sincere, how I'm not patriotic to Liberia, whatever it is, but at least you're home. You see where I'm going with this? So I'm asking you to please, whatever you do, don't drink and drive. These things can be dangerous. You might kill somebody, you might hurt somebody, or even hurt yourself or kill yourself. What I've always explained to you is this: that you have people that love you. Anybody that is on this earth, you have somebody who loves you. So if you hurt yourself, or God forbid, you kill yourself, the relatives, the friends that are around will start feeling bad, and the trauma is unbearable. So I'm just asking you to please do us a favor. Another thing, you don't have to, even if you stay alive, what if the police pull you over and they find out that you are drunk? They will take your license. You won't be able to go to work. You can get a work license, but you won't be able to go places. You'll be almost like on a house arrest for certain term. And the amount of money that you're gonna spend. And then you say, Mr. Tour, how do you know that? You think I've been around for nothing? I've been around. I've been around. So I'm speaking from experience, to be honest with you. So these things are very costly. And if we have the opportunity to be able to express these things and tell you what it is, we will do so. We will do so. It's a wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon, folks. The winter is coming in little by little. Right now, it's still hot here in Sacramento, so there's no question about that. It's very hot, but we ask that perhaps you start tuning your car and taking care of certain things. There are certain lights when you turn your car on. The lights that comes on the dashboard, they represent certain part, certain aspect of the car. Pay attention to the lights. You start your car, the light comes on, few seconds they go away. But if some light is coming on and not get going away, pay attention to it. And if you go to the mechanic, they will put some sort of a plug in it and it'll tell you what the code is and it'll tell you what it is. And perhaps you can decide whether you want to fix it or not. But these are very important. Take care of your car and your car will take care of you. Folks, good evening. Good evening. Welcome on LIBERIA Public Radio. First thing first, I came on briefly, maybe about 5-6 seconds on Wednesday, and then I got stuck. I couldn't come back. I had to go and start to figure out what the problem was. The technical issue that I thought I was having. Guess what? I brought that technical issue on myself. You see what I'm wearing here? There's a mic. The mic is watered around me, and I speak into this mic. But right here, I have a button here that said mute and unmute. And so when I was putting it on, I muted myself, and I couldn't figure why I wasn't coming on. I had to make a video to say I'm not coming on because people were tuning in. But this is where Alfonso and Nathaniel Craig get for having the old man sticking with them. So let's move on. But that was the problem. Nothing else. It was just my fault. And I sincerely apologize to my brothers and sisters that tuned in that day, hoping to get some wonderful, wonderful news. So let's get on with it. We have a lot to cover here tonight. Okay, we have a lot to cover tonight, and let's do this. Let's do this because tonight's program is a sweet one. If you're from Liberia, of course you know what we're talking about. So why do I have this one? Okay, if you're from Liberia, you know exactly what I'm talking about because where's my? Okay, right there. All right. So let's talk about this. The money issue in Liberia is getting to be terrible. The information that is coming from Liberia is getting to be terrible. And so I will do my best this afternoon, try to give you some information. But for me, I think I would take on different tack. And that is, why are we here? How did we get here? And I'm not going to go back to history. If you go on front page, former president says she's very angry. And guess what? I'm going to take the whole money saga. Not so much of her being corrupt, but I will wrap it around her neck. And then he said, Mr. Toh, why would you do that? Yes, my reason. In 2005, let's go back to 2005. In 2005, when the mother of the land came in, Liberia was just coming from civil war. The infrastructure, the institution that you will have to call a governing country were all destroyed. These people came in fresh. They came in, some of my writing that I used to do those days, I consider all of them the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, I consider all of them at that time almost like a founding father. And we thought the fact that the mother of the land, highly educated, Harvard-trained economist, we thought that she was going to put in place a structure that after she leaves, that structure will be able to withstand whoever that comes in. But that apparently didn't happen. The mother of the land and her government never put in place a structure. I'll give you an example. When you're having something, your government, I never ran government before, so I'm not going to say this is what you need to do, but I've seen how a government is supposed to be run. I've been reading a lot. When I'm talking in terms of structure, how do you manage certain activities? What are the processes involved? Are those processes understood by all? But apparently there were certain people that perhaps were not even into how this process working, except they're there to work. And the mother of the land, former president now, she took young people, brought them into the government. These young people are also educated, and you expect that they will put in place some structure that will withstand test of time. It's not there. It's not there. Now she's saying she's angry. Why will you be angry now? If whatever it is you put in place, that's exactly what is happening before our eyes. The Unity Party-led government came to power. They were not prepared. And these people were highly educated. They knew exactly what they were supposed to do. You would think after 12 years of staying in power, you would think by this time, money issue, how the money is printed, who's printing what country is printing Liberian money, those things would be ABC to anybody that come up, because the structure is there. All you have to do is tell the people how to make reference to the menu. In this country, I'm an engineer by training, by the way. The engineering book, when I want to make reference to certain activities, when I'm designing, when I pick up an engineering book, it might say 2018, but those process, those calculations were done back in 18 something. They haven't changed much. That structure. You can't come in as a designer and decide you want to put a curve. In order for you to do the curve, since 18 something, they've been telling you, in order for you to put a curve down, first of all, you have to know what the design speed you want. Based on that design speed, you're going to come up with a curve. A simple design. Structure. If I leave tomorrow, any other person come up and pick up my drawing and have that understanding of the structure, they will have no issue. They will know exactly what my intent will be. Now, you can come in and say, okay, well, this is what Samson told intended at the time. But the situation have changed. We need to improve on it. I'll give you an example. And I'm not going to go deep into engineering. I'm not talking about engineering. I'm just giving you an example. The guy, if you know anything about roadway, you have a road. In certain part of the road, they have a slope to protect motorists from falling into those slopes, into those ditches. And they have what they call guardrail. The guardrail those days, the truck that was being made from Detroit or any other places, the truck, if you've been in this country for a while, you will, even in Liberia, you will know that the truck heights have changed. So as an engineer, they decided, look, these people continue to make the truck higher. And the guide rail is supposed to be high so that when the truck hit, because the car is lower, the car will always hit the guide rail. But if the truck, because it's height of the tire, if they hit the guide rail, they don't flip over, because you want to make sure you protect the tire. So what they've done, they lifted the guide rail. Before, it was like 21 inches. It went up to 27. Now it's 31 because the truck height structure. Go any part of the United States as an engineer and you go do guardrail, that structure is there. That's why in this country, if you drive on Highway 80 from Sacramento and go all the way to New Jersey, because that's where 80 ends, the structure section, if you're to dig, what they call core, they dig this little, but anyway, I'm not going to go into it. But if you go through any area where they have snow and thing, the structure section might be different, okay, because of the climate. However, the shoulder, the slope, the super elevation of the road always is constant. Because if you have a super elevation, which is the bank going around, and you put in super elevation also based on the curve. How deep you want your super the deeper the curve, the slighter the super elevation. That's simple. But that's structure. What do we have? We don't have that in Liberia. 12 years. 12 years. What can she, when the mother of the land was angry, when she did a BBC interview, go and read it. What was some of the tangible things they say to say we put these things in place and they are so obvious that any dummy can come and be able to follow that? You didn't hear that. All she said, she was angry. Why will you be angry now? 12 years you were there. What did you put there for these young people to come and run the government and have a smooth transition and be able to follow through? Where is it? She says she's angry. Okay? So for me, my tag that I'm taking this afternoon on this is this. The former president, why I respect her. I respect the way she handled herself. She made Liberia proud all over. Just like Dr. Weah, when he was playing soccer, he put Liberia on the map. The former president, mother of the land, also put Liberia on the map. But the institution was not built. The institution that's supposed to guide the process is not strong. And one of the things they did, and everything that I'm saying here, just think about it. One of the things they did that perhaps if we're not careful will affect us deeply is the security issue. They took advantage of the fact that we have ML. United Nations was protecting us. So instead of working with the UN to actually put security in place that Liberian will man, that Liberian will be proud of, those type of stuff are not there. So right now, people are doing stuff that they're not supposed to do. You have people are crying for war crime, and you have the war laws then threatening. If you're not careful, this is what will happen. If you have strong security in our country, none of them will open their mouth. They will immediately start going to hire a lawyer. But you have some of the war law running the security apparatus. You have some of these war law. Now they're in charge of the committee for the security of the country. You tell me, where are we going? Where are we going? So my take with this money issue is quite different. I'm not going to castigate people, attack their character. No. But let's go a little bit deeper. That's what I have for the mother of the land. Folks, Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm just running my mouth here this afternoon. Okay. When the same people that were there, legislature that were there during the last 12 years or so, some of them are still there. Let's look at this other one. What we're going through right now is very, very serious and very sad. Because at this point, after 12 years of peace, stability. After 12 years, you would think some of these things would have been taken care of. And you would say, Mr. Toe, maybe the transition period, these things were mentioned, and the incoming government didn't pay attention. That's not far-fetched. There was an incident here that when Jimmy Carter was leaving, and Ronald Reagan was coming in, Jimmy Carter, according to the story, wrote some note, but Ronald Reagan didn't even read some of those notes. So it's possible. But if this structure that I talk about is there, it's going to force people, those who are going to be managing, force them to deal with it. Because if you don't look at the structure, you might not be able to function. If the structure is not there, or it is there, but you don't want to apply, your work will not be able to carry out properly because the structure is there to guide. Let's look at this again. I'm going to go all over again tonight. This is something that I want you to pay attention to here. And I talked about institution earlier. This is a Supreme Court standing with Dr. Weir. This is a same Supreme Court during the election that Dr. Weir and the CDC decided to utilize. Everybody was going to Supreme Court. They respected the court. I thought that was very good because my belief, and I used to talk about it, the institution, one of those institutions, was going to stand and fight for the Liberian people, and it did. So this is the Supreme Court. You know where I'm going with this, okay? So the Supreme Court recently, they have some issues about the impeachment. So let me read this along with me, so perhaps you can see it. Okay, it says the citation continues. By directive of the full bench of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, you are hereby, mandated to file your brief in the above caption, cause on, I can't see where, on or before the end of the weekday on Thursday, August 21st, 2018. Sign, and then the person sign. I want you to see this. We're talking about institution. The Supreme Court, their job is to interpret the law. Their job is to defend people's right. If you have a right violated, you go to the court, and the court is there to be an arbiter. The court is there to decide who's wrong, who's right. What is it based on? Based on the Constitution. What is the Constitution based on? Based on faith of the people of the Republic. To trust in the institution. To trust in the institution. Okay? But if you have an institution that people, those who are supposed to make the institution stronger, decided we're not going to pay attention to that. You weaken the institution, and it's going to come back to hurt you. Let's go some more. I'm giving you all of the line. I'm going to the money. I'm going to come to the money. Don't worry, we're going to come to the money. But I'm giving you what I believe that are causing all of us problems. Because we Liberians, we're very good at that. When something is in our favor, we want to respect. But as long as we're feeling using it, we discard it and disrespect it. We do that in our own community here in the diaspora. You have Liberian community organizations all over. But when people are in power, they want to be respected. But when they're no longer in power, they don't want to respect the incoming. That's what we do. We're very good at that. So when the Supreme Court, the CDC government, now it's a government, when it was a party, they sought the interest for themselves through the Supreme Court. Let's go on. Let's go on. Here is the Speaker and the Chief Justice. So I told you already, the Supreme Court for this impeachment saga, they sent citation out. Okay? And what did the Speaker and the legislature say about that? Let's read it. Let's read it. I just want you to be mindful that what I'm saying here is not something that is far-fetched. Okay? These are things that if you're not careful, will hurt you. And especially as a country, will hurt you. Let's look at this. Okay, what did members say? It says here. Members of the House on Saturday, that's some time ago now. The same day they appear before the Justice Justice in Chamber held an emergency section where the majority voted not to honor the Supreme Court citation. Folks, did you hear that? The folks that are supposed to be helping to strengthen the institution of the Republic of Liberia decided that they're not going to honor the citation of the other branch. Okay? And I'm trying to do something here. Just bear with me. Okay? So, yeah, all right. So, they decided they're not going to honor the citation. The lawmakers, according to report, okay, decided that the Supreme Court must withdraw its rate of probation if it wants dialogue within them. But we're not going to even talk to you. If you want to talk to us, withdraw your petition with the rate that you sent. That's how you weaken the institution. If the court means business, the legislature are talking now, let them withdraw the stay order. We come today and stay and say we will not honor. The Supreme Court should have first requested a conference before placing the stay order, and that is where I think the error. One senior member saying that to these people. Okay, they say the Supreme Court make a mistake. These people are only supposed to make laws, but then they're saying that Supreme Court is making a mistake. What are they doing? Interpreting the law. Members of the House on Saturday, the same day, we read that already. All right. So let's go back. I want you to just follow with me here, please. I'm going to the money. Don't worry. Okay. So they're saying that the Supreme Court make a mistake. What are they doing? What is their function? According to the Constitution, they make laws. The Supreme Court interprets the law. And my argument have always been, if you feel the Supreme Court have violated certain part of the Constitution, you go to the Supreme Court and let them know that you violated X, Y, and Z. You don't stay and say, I'm not coming because you have violated X, Y, and Z. Basically, what you have done is to interpret the law. By doing so, you have weakened the institution. Because the institution, the Supreme Court, they don't have army for themselves to come to the House of Representatives and start arresting everybody. They depend on each one of the arms of the government to support one another, not in a corrupt behavior. Because if you feel that your right has been trampled on by another branch, you honor the invitation and you explain to them, we're here, sir, because we respect the institution, but we think this is where you have gone wrong. And let the Supreme Court will tell you, say, no, we interpret the law. Yes, and your lawyer will argue. But you stay and you say you're not going anywhere. Because why? You feel the Supreme Court have violated your rights. Folks, this is Samson told. Okay. So now let's go to the money. Now that you have this understanding, institution, institution. There's 3 branches of government, and each one of the branches of government, they're supposed to stand independently. However, they lean on one another for support, legal support, transparent support, not necessarily corrupt behavior. Now let's go to the money. So quite recently, this is Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm just giving you some information here this afternoon. If you care to stay with us, we appreciate it. Okay. So quite recently, we heard that 9 billion, 15 billion or something went missing. So the Minister of Justice put out some information that they're doing an investigation. Okay. And through their investigation, they find out certain people are involved, what have you. The Minister of Information came up and gave us the information about the money. Okay. But what I want to point out in this clip is the FBI. I'm not too sure what the situation is right now, as to whether FBI have even accepted their invitation. But I believe, and this is just speculation on my part, I can do so. I'm a human being. I have a right to have my own opinion. The FBI most likely would, the United States government will say, okay, if you want FBI over there, we'll charge you. Because guess what? Whatever dollar amount, whatever US dollar that you use over there, these people already account for that. You're not going to fool around with that money. You do that, they cut it off. So the treasurer here in the United States, they know exactly how many dollars is in circulation every day. They know that. Including all over the world. They know that. That is people money. Okay. But here we are. They said the whole container is missing. And you have people who are going nuts. Liberian was going nuts. What happened to the money? What happened to the money? But as usual, I decided I'm going to be calm because I've seen this record play before. You remember when the journalists were killed here? Everybody was going on accusing the Dr. Weir-led government of being involved, blah, 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 and we'll find out it didn't even happen. But that's who we are. We're very good at speculation. We're very good at making inferences. We're very good at assuming for the worst, as long as it is not in our interest. So the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Information came up to tell us what was happening. Let's go on. So I'm not too sure the FBI is still coming to investigate, but that's what they said they're going to do. That's fine. If it goes there, that's good. But let's look at what other stuff. Okay. So just within this week, though, all of this information is still coming. So the government of Liberia, these 2 gentlemen, okay, Wig Salif the deputy Central Bank of Liberia, and Wig used to be the governor, Central Bank of Liberia. The far right guy is Honorable Eugene Nagbe, Minister of Information. So the government of Liberia came up with a list, and they said that certain people will not be allowed to leave the country. Okay, let's try to read about that. All right. Let's read that part. You see, what I've done is I've gone in and gotten some information as it relates to issues. Let's read that. It says, why investigation into the report disappearance of 16 billion Liberian dollar now, 16 billions as confirmed by Information Minister Lane Eugene Nagbe is yet on the way. The government has restricted. Let's go now. Okay. The government has restricted. The government has restricted the movement of individuals who it believe can help solve the mystery of the lost container. Yes. folks, the government saying that certain people they believe can help. That was some days ago. Things have changed. This whole container business is fluid situation. Things have changed. So they have these people to say, I think it was 7 or 8 of them, 2 of them up here, that they're not allowed to travel. Okay? So they have them. They said they're going to put them, they're going to help. They're now under arrest though, but they are not permitted to travel. Now, I'm not too sure how you would call that, whether house arrest or whatever it is, but if you restrict, I did 1 year of criminal justice when I first got in this country. When I started going to school, I wanted to be a criminal justice major because I wanted to do something in criminal justice. I'm not going to go into that. But then I thought it was just, I need something to get me sweat a little bit, you know, so I went to engineering. But anyway, when I was in criminal justice, one of the things they pointed out to us is, if you are under arrest, your right as an individual has also been seized. So this is the other way around. Their right to travel were curtailed by the government, but I'm not too sure why you're not going to call it arrest. But anyway, that's what they want, and that's what they have. So that's that part. Then the mother of the land came up and said, whoa, what is this? What is this? Because at that time, the Minister of Information and the Justice Ministry, just by giving the interview and talking, they've already put words out there that it is because of her former administration were responsible for the money issue. She came out. She was, again, she was a little bit upset, but not much. And she came out, started swinging. What's going on here? Why are these people doing this, trying to ruin people's reputation, the country reputation? Let's read what she said. Samson to LIBERIA. Folks, I'm just telling you all these things. I want you to follow with me here to see how far we're going to go. By the way, she had an interview. The first interview, this is the second interview she had. This is the first one. The second one I will play, I will show you that. But this is the first one. The interview she had with Front Page Africa. This is what she said. Let's read what she said. Let's look at it. Okay. Said the former president, I have been reliably informed that the Central Bank of Liberia has undertaken an internal investigation, and by a directive from the Minister of Justice, provided a full report to the police. That's her argument. That according to her, the Minister of Justice asked the Central Bank to do an investigation, and they did an investigation. But let's read some more. Okay? And then perhaps you will see why she's angry. She said, the Central Bank has prepared a release that gives full evidence and clarification that refute the statement of Minister Nagbe. This has been held for 2 days because the Central Bank of Liberia governor and the Minister of Justice have refused to approve the release. It is most unfortunate that the government of Liberia will give false information that wickedly impugn the reputation of past officials, and by extension, the country itself. Now, you didn't think that the former president is very smart, very smart. She knows exactly what she's talking about. So she came out swinging, okay, like I said. So she's saying, wait a minute, what's going on here? The Justice Minister asked the Central Bank to do an investigation. They have done the investigation. They passed the investigation report over. But the Minister of Justice, according to her, the Minister of Justice, that was about 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. The Minister of Justice and the governor of the bank, the new governor, refused to release. And according to her, they're damaging people's reputation. You see how she tied that whole thing to the central point of Liberia. She's very clever. She didn't just come out and say, you're trying to ruin my reputation. She said, by you trying to ruin my reputation, the reputation of former government official, you're also ruining the reputation of the Republic of Liberia. Now, we Liberians, do we want our country reputation to be ruined? No. So, see that? That's how smart she is. She has turned the whole thing now. You're leading a government. But yet, the same government you're leading, the country that you're leading, you want to ruin the reputation of the country. And you wonder why she's so smart. I want you to, when you get involved in these kinds of conversations, don't just run your mouth. Think about it. Think about it. Listen to the players. Listen to the people that are involved. And start reading. When you read, pay attention. So what she did? She's not just saying, oh, my people, y'all go. I've been ruining the country for 12 years. I've been doing X, Y, and Z. Y'all people, they ruin my reputation. She didn't leave it as that. She said, by ruining my reputation and the reputation of former government officials, by extension, you're ruining the reputation of the country that you say you love. I love it. I love it. She's very smart. She's very smart. So, the government, up to that point, nothing from the government. Nothing. In fact, I didn't have that piece, but one of the statements she made. See, this is what I keep saying, that if you depend on certain people to do stuff for you, sooner or later, when you piss them off, they try to threaten you. Because she felt that her son has been in that position for a very long time. So it feels, and it seems like he's the only person that can do that kind of job. So guess what? After all of the saga is done, she said, I will tell the deputy governor to resign. Her son, I will ask the deputy governor to resign. Why? Why is he if he's not found guilty, if he's okay, why must he resign? Is it because he's your son? Or is it because he's your son and Liberians do not have qualified people to perform that kinds of work, and he's the only one? So now we've been threatened. And this is what I say. Don't employ people based on relationship. If you employ me, I can't do it, get me out. But yes, she made that statement. I'm not making it up. Go research it. Okay, let's move on. Then here comes the big deal. Yesterday, the Minister of Finance and Mr. Weeks, former governor, came up. And they ready to lay it out. And this is where the whole confusion. But I wasn't confused. When I read this, I wasn't confused. The Minister of Finance said, what did he say? He said the money is, we know what the money is. What are people making? You're not listening to the Minister information. Here is the structure that I tried to lay out earlier. Again, I would take this. What happened between Honorable Yunji Nagbe and Honorable Tua yesterday, I put it right back to the doorstep of the mother of the land. No structure. No structure. Because if you remember during the election, every one of us accused her of bringing in Dr. Weah. We accuse her of being a forced supporter of Dr. Weah. And you want to tell me, if our assumption, well, let me don't say our, I say me, if my assumption is correct at the time that she wanted Dr. Weah to be her successor, if that assumption is correct, if she had structure in place, don't you think that structure would have been passed on to Dr. Weah? But because they were lacking the structure. We're blessed though. As Liberian, we say thank God. Because if this kinds of stuff is happening, this kind of confusion about money is happening, what do you think about security situation in Liberia? These young people, the police, the army, the NSAs, they're doing a wonderful job. Because with that kind of confusion, and you expect the international community to trust you, you can't manage something like this. The Minister of Information came up and gave us some information. Minister of Finance came and said, oh, the information they gave you is not correct. Why? Are they fighting among themselves? I don't think so. But because there was no coordination between these two groups, in fact, all of the groups. Okay? And one other thing I did fail to mention when I was talking about the government earlier, I told you, they formed investigative team. Who was on that team? Let's look at it before I jump back on it. All of the people that are supposed to be making peace. The churches of Christian churches, leader, Muslim imam leaders, all of the people in Liberia that are supposed, chief elder, well, everybody. But guess who they left out? Samson. So folks, these things, if you know, that's one thing I know about myself, because I like to read. So when I read these things, I try to put two and two together. So I don't get anxious. Guess who they left out? They left out the most government arm that is responsible. The auditing arm of the Republic of Liberia were left out of the investigative team. Then you say, but Mr. Cho, it's not time yet. Yeah? Okay. You're bringing churches, Muslims, and people in what do they have any kind of investigative experience? What is their role? What are they supposed to do? These people are only there. Civil society are there to protect people. To say, this person has been wrong. We need to be involved. Or if there's a conflict, they come in and say, but this is not a conflict time. People are not fighting. They say money lost. Okay, that's fine. We'll talk to money. Then you bring in people, what are they going to say? Oh, my people, you don't pray so the money can come back. Is that what you want the people to say? And you want us to take you serious. This is something that we have to pay attention to. Now, let's go back to these two gentlemen. The Minister of Finance came out and said, what Minister Nabwe told us yesterday or day before, disregard that. The money, we know what the money is. And one of the things he stated that was very interesting. Okay, let's see if we can even read that. Okay, I thought that was very interesting. In as much as confusion was happening, but he made certain statement that I thought were very interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's try to read that. Let's try to read that together. Folks, this is Samson to LIBERIA Public. We're just having fun this afternoon. I want you to follow this story. I'm also putting this out there so people will be able to follow this story. One of the things that I want you to do as you get involved in these kinds of dialogue, you must be able to understand the story. Follow the thread of the story. That way, your contribution will always be in line with what is happening. Yes, one thing I noticed as well as Liberians, we're very good at that. When we get involved, we like to talk. There's no question. Not just me alone. Most Liberians like to talk. But when we get involved, and for some reason, we're limited in a particular conversation, what do? We start using language that are provocative. We start using language that does not suit the occasion. Because why? You lack information, but you still want to participate. So in order for people to listen to you, according to you want to be as much ridiculous as possible, just so that you'll be relevant in the conversation. You don't do that. You read, and then you come up with your own contribution. And it's not like your contribution because you've been reading, therefore your contribution is acceptable, therefore your contribution is sensible. No, that's not what my point is. But at least your conversation coming out of you will flow. You're not going to be cussing because you got no reason to cuss. You got information. Let's read. I told you already what the Minister of Finance is telling us. Look at this. And I'm quoting you. All these things I'm reading, these are quote from the papers. Okay, let's read it. It says the total amount of money printed in the country over the last 2 years is $15 billion. Forget about what Minister Lin Eugene Nagbe said. So the fake story that came out about 9 billion is saying that of the 15 billion, 9 is missing. Now think about it, he said. The entire amount of the money supply in the country, half of it is missing. Okay? Now let's see if we can read further. Okay? Let's see. Just bear with me, folks. I'm doing my best. All right, let's go back to that again. It said the entire amount of money supply in the country, half of it is missing. Okay, so let's go on. Let's read some more. Okay, if half of it is missing, you think you don't have any economy. He's saying if half of it is missing, you don't have any economy. You don't have a country. If half of the money is missing, then you don't. Minister Twer said during a call-in section on OKFM Monrovia Thursday morning. The total amount of money printed in the country over the last, okay, I read that already. So yeah, this is what he's saying, that if the money that he's talking about, okay, the money that he's pointing out, if that money, if you don't understand economy, basically what he's trying to say is, I'm the Minister of Information. I mean, I'm the Minister of Finance. I know what the money business is. The money is not missing. However, my fault with the good minister is this. You're not stranger to Minister of Information. You're not stranger to the saga of the money business. You have good knowledge of this money saga. Why is it that you allow the Minister of Information to go out and give Liberian false information? The infighting that is coming within Dr. Weah administration, it's not going to be easy. Watch and see. Because in order for you to allow the man who's supposed to be the Minister of Information to go out and not intentionally, but to put out information that later you're going to come that that's not correct, then that's wrong. Unless you and this man don't get along. But why will you not work with somebody in the same government? Why will you do that to Honorable Nagbe? You're in charge of money business. You're Minister of Finance. We know that. You're not in charge of the Bank of Liberia, but you know the in and out of the money business. If you know all of this information, when you guys, you want to tell me, this is again, going back to the mother of the land front door, no structure. And so when Dr. Weah and his people came in, they have no structure. They're supposed to come out. I'm just putting things out here now. This afternoon, it really doesn't matter. They're supposed to come out by this time to give us a blueprint of what they call pro agenda. The blueprint. They're yet to do that. They have. It's already done. I know about it, but they haven't come out yet. They say before the end of this month. Let's see if they don't bring it at the end of this month, because I have my hands on it. I got a copy of it. I will read it. And then maybe they will say, oh, because something too ready, we don't want to use it, we'll use something else. Because if they have come out with a blueprint, because in that blueprint, these people that wrote this thing, if you read it, you'll be satisfied. They lay out everything, monetary aspect of Liberia, tax collection, how you're supposed to be, education, infrastructure, everything is laid out. That's why they call it blueprint. You don't have blueprint, you're running the government by the seat of your pen. This is what we get. Because if you were truly running the government, okay, folks, we have a crisis. Even if you don't consider it a crisis, first thing, this thing didn't happen overnight. When front page immediately contacted people, start running, said Liberia government stop late. I mean, late, they don't want to talk about the money business, but certain money is missing. about a week ago. People in Liberia, most of the time, education is, all of you guys are educated. You gather in the money, even if you don't like front page, if you don't like data observer, you gather in the money, you collect the newspaper and read through, because these people will give you information, whether you like it or not, whether it's true or not. You read it, and then you can decide, no, this is not, I'm not going to. You didn't even do that. If you guys have done that and are educated as you are, we won't be here. The problem why we're having all of these conversations among us, because no information. And so the fact that you are not able to give us correct information, Liberians decided to throw in the information on your behalf. They're defining what they think you're talking about. Am I making up? So the Minister of Finance come out, I just read to you, that we shouldn't listen to Minister Nagbe. In fact, if you go, there's another article. I just don't want to put it out there. But there's another article where the sedition top members of CDC party consider Minister Nagbe to be the mother of the land friend, and so they're saying that she's defending the former president of the Republic of Liberia. I don't know why. And the former president is already accusing Minister Nagbe. You know, sometimes the way the people think, I really don't understand. The former president is accusing Minister Nagbe of trying to ruin her reputation, and the seditionists are also accusing Minister Nagbe of being on the former president's side. What is this? That's Liberia. But let's go on. So the Minister of Finance said we shouldn't listen. But my point on this is this. You don't treat people like that. If you don't want to work with Minister Nagbe, either you resign or you tell the president to find somebody that you want to work with. But you don't put, all of you guys are young. All of you guys are in Liberia. Your friends. If the man is going to say something, if he didn't contact you and went out and make that statement, you ask the minister. The statement you made, sir, that statement not correct. The minister will find way to make the correction. But you didn't do that. You let one day pass. So it will soak into the mind of the Liberian. Then you come back the next day, the minister information he gave you yesterday is not correct. What is that? So you got Liberian all confused. Who are they supposed to trust now? Let's go on. Folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, we asked you to stay with us this afternoon. I'm just trying to lay this thing out. The reason why I'm not panicking, the reason why I'm not pushing the panic button and say, the person need to go to jail. No, that's not the route that I'm taking. I'm taking a different route because I want you to understand from my own perspective why I'm so calm. Okay, let's go on. Let's read. Now, the picture you see up there is the Minister of Finance and Mr. Weeks, who is the former governor of the Bank of Liberia. Okay, what did he say? Let's read it. Folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio. It's a very short one, but here is from the same page, though, from the same. This is what Mr. Weeks said, according to him, when he went to tell the investigator. This is what he said. Let's read it together, folks. He said, according to report, Weeks has admitted before the Joint Security Investigative Team that a container bearing the $15 billion were received by the Central Bank of Liberia during his tenure at the bank. Folks, is there any other thing we need to talk about? The man who was governor at the time, he said they got hold of the money. He said the money is from this point. Okay, how you say you got this? Okay, how much is it? He said 15 billion. You as an investigator, you start putting records together because I'm not too sure if you're going to sit there and count the 15 billion, but they go by the book. Where the money come from? How much is it? The people print them out. They print those stuff on a piece of paper, and you go by that. So the key players have already told us. The finance minister said the money is not missing. The former governor of the Bank of Liberia said he received the money, okay, during the time he was governor, 15 billion. Well, maybe 1 billion is missing, but that's still Liberia. Folks, this is Samson Told LeBron Public Radio. I'm just telling you as it is here this afternoon from what I've been reading. And all of this information, they're out there. You just go and do your own research and you'll be able to find these things. Okay? So what else are we supposed to do now? And now, here comes the other thing. Yeah, it's Liberia. Okay? So, here's the last one before I go on to other issue here. Okay? This one just came in today. The president is still fuming. The former president is still fuming. She's angry because they're trying to ruin her reputation. She's angry. The anger, for me, and if I'm wrong, please state so. The anger, it's not so much of people lying on her because she can defend herself. But the anger, for me, my interpretation, is the fact that she did not put structure in place for the young people to run on. And so she's angry because now people are going to see 12 years of this good woman. 12 years of our mother did not give us anything for us to stand on. She gave us peace, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to institutional management, there's nothing. There's nothing. Dr. Weir and his people have to scramble, try to find things, how to put these things together. And this is why I continue to say the intellectual in Liberia, instead of taking side, instead of coming in as a political opposition, this is the time to show your patriotic form of Liberia. As a political opposition, this is a big issue. Liberians, they're anxious. They're not getting the kind of good information. Those of you that have served in the different position before, you have the experience. You don't have to be invited. You go knocking to each of the minister door and say, sir, I'm here to help. I'm a Liberian. I've done this before. How can I help? What do we need to do to get this thing? Because we know the money. Nobody, you tell me $16 billion missing in Liberia, and that's what the finance minister was saying. If you have 16 million or $9 billion that's missing, you will have no more economy. What part of it we don't understand? Well, yeah, the person did this, he did that, he did this. So let's go to this last reading. Like I said, the mother of the land is angry. What kind of government is it? You're ruining people's reputation. Let's read. Folks, stay with me. Samson Told LeBron Public Radio. I just want you to keep on as we go on to read these things. Okay, let's read what she said. And then I will go deep into what I have this afternoon. All right, listen to this one. I am angry. I am shocked. That's the former president speaking now. I am angry. I am shocked. When it comes to the government, I said this is our country. Here we go again. You remember what she said earlier? You ruin my reputation. By extension, you ruin the reputation of the Republic of Liberia. By extension, you ruin my reputation. By extension, you ruin the reputation of the Republic of Liberia. I am the Republic of Liberia. Folks, this is very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. She said again. Let's look at it again. I am angry. I am shocked. When it comes to the government, I said this is our country. We have a new president. We all must support it for the good of our country. She's angry, but she didn't tell you what she's angry about. She's telling us emerging. In other words, she's wrapping herself into the flag of the Republic of Liberia. and you think she's dumb. She's a very smart lady. I love this lady. I love her. You know, if you're an educated president and you read these kinds of stuff, you love these politicians. Okay, let's go on. Let's go. I would like to call on the government, even that the country's reputation is innocent people reputation has been impugned. Okay, all right, let's go on. Let me scroll this up, and then we can read together. Okay, just stay with me, Sam Sinto. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's go ahead. Even that the country reputation and innocent people reputation has been impugned. Okay, so let's go ahead. What you say? They must go back to the media and say that the investigation is concluded and the evidence and facts are known. Folks, interesting or interesting. They must go back to the media and correct it. You hear that? You hear what she say? She's angry. She's angry. Why was she angry? She's angry. But first thing, instead of saying my reputation, she merged herself into the flag of the Republic of Liberia. Wrap herself, literally almost, wrap herself around the flag. Now, once she's inside the flag, you can't condemn the flag, because if you do, you condemn the country. I love this. I love the mother of the land. She's a very smart politician. That's why most of these men, the politicians in Liberia, they can't make it with her. They're a very intelligent person. She put herself in awe of Liberia and say, here I am. We love this country. This is our country. We must support, and I'm just paraphrasing on that. We must support the new president. However, she's also saying the government of the new president that she's asking all of us to support. She accusing them of impugning her reputation and the reputation of the country. Folks, here then is the issue. What do we do as Liberia? Where do we go as Liberia with this money issue? You have certain group that are saying the money is not missing. In fact, other people are saying that the money has been infused into the economy. Where's the paperwork? Once again, there is no structure. Because if you can say, Mr. Toad, they have structure, except that these people are not paying attention to it. If the structure is set up, I'll give you an example. Okay? I did engineering, like I said. Okay. So in order for me to put a curve, I can't just get and draw the curve. There are certain parameters that must be known in order for me to put that curve in there. I have to know the radius. I have to know the beginning of the curve. This curve, do I put a tangent connecting to this curve? Those are the things that I will be forced to answer, because that is what the curve is supposed to do. In order for me to have a curve that is suitable for driving, that is comfort for the drivers, these are the thing parameter that is forced on me, the structure for me to put this curve on this road. Even if I decide I want to make the road from Monreal all the way to Grand Gila, make it straight, I have to follow certain parameters. I have to follow certain principles, structure. Because in order for me to do that, the structure is there that will force me to see my mistake if I'm making one. So my point is, if there is a structure to deal with money when it comes to these kinds of issues, if certain things were put in place, those that are dealing with the money, I'll give you an example. If the people are going to the free port to release to get the money, what are the processes involved? Who are involved in this process of getting the money? And if we get the money from the free port after certain people sign, how do we get the container from the free port outside of the gate? Do we have cameras? Do we have police escort? Because this is money. And those who are escorting the money that are being sent by the police, do the police have a record of those who come in to escort this money? What car did they use? What license plate of the car that was used? And if you're using a contractor, as the mother of the land seems to suggest, who are the contractors? Is that not how you go? I'm not a security person, but if I'm doing an investigation, is that not where you want to start? Before you even go on to the top? Running around here, the person need to go to jail. That person need to go to. You just sending people children to jail. You think they ain't got no family member? They're just waiting for you to throw them in jail. So these are the things that we must face. This is Samson to LIBERIA Radio. Let me get to the juice of the matter here tonight. I'm gonna now, because people are now calling that the President of the Republic of Liberia need to make a statement. In fact, some are saying that he shouldn't travel. Let's look at this president character a little bit. I'm not a psychologist or any other kinds of scientist. I'm just an engineer. But let's just from my own perspective, let's look at this man. People are saying, why is he not saying something? Do you know what he did before becoming president or before becoming senator? How long was he in the soccer business? And if you play football, you know what I'm talking about. The ball is on the ground. You're going for the ball, feet. You're using your feet. And the next person is challenging you, using his feet at the same time. They're going to kick you. And sometimes some of the kick can hurt. But you have to bear within you. I can take it. This is what I want to go. I want to go score. Dr. Weah plays soccer in Europe, specifically in Italy. Folks, sometimes when you engage in these things, look at the person who is involved. And perhaps try to say what his character is made of. You can't just assume. So I knew I was going to come on here tonight, so I did some research. When Dr. Weah was playing soccer, the racism, calling black people names in Italy, was terrible. Some of the players, and as Dr. Weah is so good, some players will come on the field, defender, try to get into his mind and call him names. He took all that and put them aside and was doing good. When he go places, people will call other players, call him name. 1996, there was an incident that almost ruined his career. 1996, there was a Portuguese team that was playing AC Milan. Go do a research. I think I'm getting the defender name, Costco or Casco. I'm not too sure. But anyway, Dr. Weah, they drew 1-1. So the ball came from the right side, and the defender sent it back. And the AC Milan number 7 or whoever, the right wing, crossed the ball. And Dr. Weah was onside. He was not outside. He was onside. But because he knew exactly, this is the same thing that Cristiano Ronaldo would do. These people are so smart. They know exactly what the ball going to be and when the ball going to be there. So they want to make sure they at that particular time, by the time the ball get there, the ball should meet in there. So if you look at the clip, the ball crossed the ball. And as he crossed, the ball was in the air. Dr. Weah stepped and left the defender behind and scored. The defender got angry. And the defender has been behind Dr. Weah calling him name before. So he got angry. You know, back those days, they clicked the hair. The real Iron Star, the one you call Iron Star Bicycle, and step on Dr. Weah's left hand. Almost took his finger out. Dr. Weah, they were able to ease it out. He has already scored. They didn't take him out. He's a crewman. true story. Go do your research. I'm not going to tell you where to go. You go look it up. It's a crewman. He said, you, I will eat your back. That you can't help me here. My other people, when I finish with you, you will know. So after the game, they tied 1-1, I believe. So they started walking in the tunnel. And for some reason, according to the story, he broke the man's nose. I mean, if you see the picture, the boy was bleeding so bad, it's unbelievable. I mean, the nose completely almost separated from his face. Dr. Weah broke his nose. Okay? So the point I'm making here is this. People like Dr. Weah, they keep things in them. They will talk. But let me go back to the story. After that, they suspended him, though. He was suspended, I think, for 1 or 2 matches, something like that. He apologized, but that same year, he also won the best player in the one thing, no violence, something like that. He won that trophy for the whole of European country. He won that because people thought, and there's the other reporter. He wrote extensively about it. He said, "Do you know how much abuse that Dr. Weah had taken?" At that time, he was not Dr. Weah. I'm just calling him Dr. Weah now. Okay, that he has taken over the years. Why you think that he decided to respond? The point here is this. There are many people, they don't pay attention to a lot of stuff, but if you push and push, they will respond. So let's go back to this money issue. People are asking Dr. Weah to respond. Why is he being so insensitive to the LIBERIA issue? No, he's not. My belief that Dr. Weah is there watching. We want to make sure this thing is to a point where he can come out to say something. He believed these other ministers, they're the ones supposed to come out and make statement. Can you imagine if he had come out the same day Minister of Information came out and made a statement, and then the minister find out, come out and say, oh, the president, the minister, the information they gave last time or yesterday was not correct. Can you imagine that? Why do you want him to make a statement now when all of the information are not in place? What do you want him to tell you? When people are still saying this is it, what they're here and there, what have you? All of the investigation, the report has not been made public. The report has not even been turned over to you. Want him to come and make comment. What do you want him to say to you? So guess what? He decided to go back to the days of the playing soccer. You can call me name. That's not my responsibility. It's up to you. Call me name. My job is to score. Eventually, you will step on my finger and I will break your nose, he says. No, I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at the fact that he was violent. He wasn't violent. But you remember Zidane from France? Headbutted that guy in his chest because he said the guy was cussing him. They do that. And since then, that player, that defender, every time they play, he tries to stay away. But that's how you do it. So, folks, I'm just mixing all of these things up this afternoon because it's Friday afternoon. But on a very serious note, this is the whole saga about the money issue. It's still going. But at least Liberians have calmed down now. And in fact, before long, let me put this other one on. Just for the fun of it. Somebody sent me a video yesterday. I'll just do that. I'll just put this on for the fun of it. Let's see. Where's the video? Okay, right there. Okay. Let's just for the fun of it. But on a very serious note, Liberian was stressing over this thing. And even though we laugh now because this lady stuff is funny, but there were a lot of people that were pretty much concerned. Okay, let's play this. before I come back. I'll come back, but let's laugh a little bit about this lady.
Now you don't have to be more. Oh my God! Oh, so we are happy that I'm here, so oh, money. Come on, I have me. Oh, people there. Cheap lata people. Yeah, we are money. Oh, that money too much.
I thought that was so funny when I got it yesterday. But you know, it's funny now, but most Liberians were having some serious problem because that's a lot of money. And people are saying that why is it that we have this kind of money missing and some of us can't even pay our children's school fee? And so they're very concerned. And they have the right to be. They have the right to be. But once again, my take on this is that if the money is found, and if what the Minister of Information, I don't call it Finance Minister is saying, and what the former governor is saying, that the money is there, this should be a teachable moment for all of us, including the president. You should be able to see how this thing come about. So now the president and the people of the Republic of Liberia should not take anything for granted. There is no structure. So now Dr. Weah and his people need to use this opportunity to build the structure that perhaps they can lay on and start operating. And what is that structure? The structure is already there. It's called Propo Agenda. That agenda must be released. That agenda, if you go through it, and I've gone through it, I'm not going to tell you how I got hold of it, but their agenda is a blueprint. And that agenda, if they decided to follow it, they will be forced to follow the rule of law. You can't have that kind of agenda and decide you want to do something else. But then you say, Mr. Toe, we have code of conduct. But yes, people still operate outside of the code of conduct. If we continue to do these kinds of stuff, then we deserve whatever it is that come our way. Then you can't blame Jesus Christ for that. Because Jesus Christ gave you the knowledge and gave you people to put these things in place for you. And then you can't obey the thing you yourself put in place to be law. And then you say you cry for Jesus Christ. Then Jesus can't help you. Samson told LeBron Puerto Rico folks. Let me do one other thing before. I'm going to be opening up the line here. I believe it's this one. Let me try. No. Is it this one? Let's try. Hey yo, la loi. Hey yo. Hey yo, ah, hey yo. Hey yo, lo. Hey yo, lo. Ah, hey yo. Maniana kachiana. Hey yo. Hey yo, ah, hey yo. Hey yo, lo. Hey yo, lo. Sabatia Again, folks, Samson, so I'm going to be opening up the line here, but there's a lady that was writing here, a bunch of what I would consider nonsense. Wallow or name, whatever. You're in Liberia, so who did you see me voting? Why didn't you convince people not to vote for the president? I'm making my story. You don't want to hear it? Just click goodbye and you're out of here. Ain't nobody gonna come listen to your crying. You voted for the people. I'm not in Liberia. I wasn't in Liberia. I'm just making my story. I'm telling you. You can either stay here and listen, or you don't want to stay, go. But you want to write here and people to pay attention to you. That's like kind of foolishness y'all got. Nothing good coming out of the place. People trying to help you out. You're making big mouth here for nothing. Please. Yeah, you don't do these kinds of stuff. You don't come on people's show and try to make fun. You know how much people paid, light bill and things like that. You know how much people pay? Please. But anyway, let me get on. So from time to time, we have to respond to these kinds of stuff. You come on an international. This is some of this warning that I gave earlier. You have nothing to offer. You can't keep up with the conversation, so you gotta write foolishness. But anyway, that's besides the point. Let's keep going. Okay, folks, Samson, I'm gonna go ahead and open the line up here. Before I do that, let me go and put the information out here so you can call me. Okay, so more time to go anyway. Give me a call, Samson Toll. That's for the information. All right. Yeah, sometimes you can deal with these people like that. Just stay in Liberia, the election, there, voting here and there. running here, electing people. I'm making my show, and you want me to help you? How am I supposed to help you? Do I look at somebody making fun? I'm telling you what I know, and you're telling me I'm making fun because I drink milk and eat quesadilla, whatever it is. You know how I get the milk? You don't have free money. You know I can get up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and go to work for me to get my milk. You crazy, eh? Anyway, give me a call. Yes, the number right there. Give me a call, Samson Toll. Let me get out of this one. Okay? Give me a call. Give me a call. And these are some of the things that we'll continue to talk about because people they get angry with people like me for voting against their own interest. And then when you try to point it out, they get angry. Why are you being truthful? Jesus Christ. 916-533-2048. 916-533-2048. Okay, but let me go on. Let me go on with other issues as I stated earlier about the institution. Let me push that institutionalized some more. Okay. Now, somebody wrote here, which I think was the correct one as well, that with Liberian we come up with one story, from there we move on to another, which is something that is not quite correct. The former president, she was there for 12 years. Okay, let's go back again, and all my example I'm going to be giving here is going to be based on engineering principle because that's what I do. That's what I know better. Okay, so let's go back to the structure issue. You have the executive, you have the legislature, and you have the judiciary, and you know the function of all three of them. But as I stated before, they depend on each other for them to stand and make sure the country survives. I think after this money saga, the people of this government, the good people of this government, the excellent people of this government, Dr. Weah and his people should use this moment as a teachable moment as well. However, they should also now recognize that there are weaknesses. There are weaknesses. The structure itself that perhaps people believe they have is not. It's faulty. It's leaking. So you need to find places for those leakage to be plugged. You can't just assume that this thing is not going to happen again. What are you doing now to correct these things? The Minister of Information said he's not resigning. What are some of the situations now that they themselves have come together to say, okay, if we're going to have, they said they're always having press briefing on every Thursday. Do they have meeting in advance as to what is going to be discussed on a ministerial level? And even if the ministers themselves are not going to come and present their case, if they're going to send deputy, assistant minister, whoever they're going to send, on the ministerial level, do they quite aware of what is going to be discussed? So I think for me, this is a very young government, and I'm not going to sit here and start saying, oh, you're supposed to do this, you didn't do this, you're supposed to do it. No. I'm saying the opportunity is there. Let's continue to give them a chance. Eventually, they're going to get it. Those of you that are arguing, it's supposed to be the responsibility of this government. This government being in power not even 2 years yet. They're still learning. Why can't we give them the opportunity to learn? Once they're successful, you will see how good this whole thing will turn out to be. And also, you will also find out, just as Samson Toll said, once they get to a point that it's okay, we're here now, those who will blunder will be out of the door. Because the learning curve would have been achieved. So that's how this thing's supposed to be. My thing is, I'm going through all tonight trying to read all of these things to you. not necessarily for you to accept them, but I'm saying this, I'm reading it along with you, that I'm not making it up. And then somebody gonna come tell me, say, yeah, you're making fun. What is the fun thing about me reading these people's statement? What is so funny about that? This is the show. This is a talk show. What do you want me to do? Come out here and say, blah, 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 blah. No, I go around little by little, and then when I'm ready, I shoot it. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. What's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Good morning. My name is Manager. I'm calling from Australia.
Okay. Good morning, sir. What's on your mind?
Yes. I want to thank you for your program, but I have problems with that. Even if you are on a public program like that, even if somebody write rubbish, it's not, so nice to insult the person.
Thank you for your advice. I take that. Anything else?
Okay. No, that's all.
Okay, thank you. But I want you to also understand, though, that if anybody comes out here and write rubbish, I need to respond to that, because this is an institution. The first thing is, you can't come in here and people are reading, people are watching. If you don't have contribution, you don't say anything. Because we're trying, every one of us are learning from each other. What is exactly that this person is writing that we can learn from? It's nothing. So I need to tell that person, if you can't come out here to give us a good contribution, you don't need to. You're not forced to. That's the point. Don't come out here and waste other people's time.
Yeah, I know in the conversation, other people, respond negatively, but, you who, putting those things together, you need to, get a little caution, and take time to approach those other people like that.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, my brother. Listen now. Even though I'm in the United States, I'm from Totan. My name is Samson To. I don't take no mess. You come out here, you say foolishness, I put it right back in your mouth. So thank you for your advice. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Samson To, LIBERIA Public Radio. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. Here's the point. And I understand this young man concern, and I think myself, I try to deal with that sometimes. Sometimes people will write things, I don't even say anything. But the point here is this. This is a platform that every one of us should have the opportunity to express ourselves. But if you're going to come out here and insult people, then you have no business of coming here. That's my point. Samson To, LIBERIA Public Radio. What's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Dan, I'm calling from Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, welcome. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, before I give my point to your show, I first of all want to give a little advice on the person who made that comment that you were talking about right now. And I think you made the right point to make comment on some of those behavior. It's not everywhere you go you want to exhibit how you are your home. Because I have the experience that people in Liberia, whenever they hear that somebody in the United States, they sometimes feel that the people in the United States are the one that take their opportunity from them. So sometimes they just behave rude to everybody over here. And it's not exactly. Anybody can get opportunity to come over here. It's not like somebody just go and take your opportunity from you. So if such a program going on and you don't have anything to contribute, you just get changed to other people that will call and you can just listen. Right. So thank you so much for responding to that lady.
Thank you. Go ahead. Okay. What's on your mind?
In regard to this topic that we are doing, I think what the people are trying to do in Liberia, they want to show to us that any native man in Liberia is not qualified to be a president. So this is set up. They are trying to do that so that tomorrow they will use it as point to tell people, yes, we told you people that no native man qualified to do this in this country. Only the Congo people will be able to lead. Because when they are in power, we behave very nice, we support them, we do everything we could to help them succeed. Once they look at the native men in power, what they're going to do is they will be honor mind is not going to show themselves, but they will be using us going against each other so that it will be like the native man cannot do anything forever. And I like the step that the president is taking, saying the whole thing happen. Because other people were telling me why they can't talk, why they can't talk. Even when the matter is just coming on like that, if you talk, it almost like just putting fire in fire, oil, or how they call it, water on fire, so, or oil. That is not good. You wait a little bit and observe how the whole thing will be before you come in with statement. And what the president did today, to come in with final statement that, yeah, we are looking into this case and we want for everybody to wait until when we come by, whatever we're going to be finding, we will come by and then we will give you this, and whosoever that will be reliable for this thing will hold you until we find the final solution. So that's the best step, and I just want to commend him for that, for taking that brilliant decision to be patient with the Liberian people, but not just getting into it to rush into the case. Maybe he's going to say something that will not be good for him. So thank you so much for the program, and we will be listening to see how the whole thing going to go.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Again, this is Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. We're here this afternoon. Give me a call. Basically, the point that I'm trying to make here is that I'm not saying that the president shouldn't make statement. But I think the president, for me, that's a sign of maturity. You don't just open your mouth. He's not Samson Tour. I'm kind of run my mouth here. But this man is running a government. He's not running a banana republic like our former president would say. This is something that is very serious. The man must have some concrete statement and to come and make to the people. Because not only the Liberians that are listening, the international community is also listening. So why would you want him to come out and make a statement that perhaps he's not quite informed of? Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind? Excuse me. What do you say? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, my name is Michael. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, welcome, sir. Thank you for coming on LIBERIA Public Radio. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Pertaining to the issue discussing about the question of the money that get missing in Liberia.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I think I was listening to another guy in Liberia right now. He said that the former minister, the former bank governor mentioned that the president Eddie Johnson gave me money to print extra amount of money. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, what I've read also from the former president, the mother of the land, is that the governor, the Bank of Liberia has the right and have the mandate from the law to print money. So dollar amount, the quantity was not quite specified. But the main point that she was making is that it is the prerogative of the Bank of Liberia to print money because that responsibility is there. So the amount printed, I don't think is that much important as to what were they used for. How do they infuse that amount into the economy? And so whether any money was used improperly. Those are the kinds of things that we need to be concerned with than the quantity. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be concerned with the quantities, but I'm just saying those are things that perhaps we should pay attention to.
Okay, thank you for the information. But people that in Liberia, what they saying, like in 2016, the bank owner went to the representative and the giving the mandate of printing $2 or $5 billion Liberian dollars. So if the bank, the legislature gives you to go ahead of printing $5 billion Liberian dollars, if that's true, I don't know if that's true because Liberian people we miss story every day. You understand? I don't know, but if the legislature gives you to go ahead of printing $5 billion and you go beyond printing extra, I think that is a crime by itself.
Okay. Thank you for your concern. But what I would advise that perhaps you do yourself, because it seems like you are a very intelligent person, go and look for a Liberian news article Daily Observer, Front Page, Mirror, and no other news article. And one of them will give you, after you finish reading those newspapers, perhaps you will get a little understanding of what is happening. But thank you for your concern. We appreciate it. Samson told Labrador Public Radio, what's your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind?
Jerry Collins, calling from Minnesota.
Well, welcome. Thank you very much. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, we're still talking about our money business, so that is the same topic on our mind. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right.
you know,
I understand.
actually,
I won't even ask that question again. I'll just say what you want to talk. What a money business. Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
yeah, you see, I listened to the speech of the president today, but I said some form of weaknesses or some form of weak speech that he gave, because the speech, first of all, was very short. And it did not have the magnitude that people expected to have. You know, he did not speak with, with a disheartening position and all of that. There's something already happened. He just came, hurriedly while about to board the plane. He just began to speak maybe short there for like 5-10 minutes, which I feel that it was not good. It was not a good approach for the Liberian people, especially for the unfolding news that are on the ground. So, we are confused because the information given us is that the true information given us now is that no money was missing. All right, this money was expended in the economy, but his cabinet minister conflicted the information that caused people to be, shouting about money business and insinuating the entire country. All right, without getting first-hand information and doing the proper investigation as should. So as a result, it's very hard now to undo that no money was missing, So I think that he should have approached that speech with a lot of volume, with strength, that they like to give the Liberian people hope, and all of that. But his cabinet are saying one thing, he himself is saying another thing. So it put us in a confused state, and is making the country to keep making the problem worse instead of solving it. That is my take on the issue.
Thank you, my brother. All I can tell you also is I'm not in Liberia, but I want you to please just bear patient, and let's see how far the government gonna take this issue. In other words, I want you and all of my brothers and sisters not to stress out on this issue as much. I know it's very difficult because here you are, some of us here sending money home for school fees, for uniform, and things like that, and then you find out the huge amount of money that people are drilling all on, giving this and this and that. But at the same time, let us respect that we have a government. Let us respect that eventually the government going to respond to our needs. So I'm just asking every one of us to be patient and see how far we're going to go with this. But thank you very much for your concern, and we appreciate it. Again, this is Samson to LeBron Public Radio. Folks, we're here again this afternoon on LeBron Public Radio. As you can see now, I'm sitting down because if you call, I don't want to be standing. My legs, I'm only 25 years old. My legs are they're very young. What do you mean still? They're still, what do you mean still? They're very young. But no, I'm very serious though, folks. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. And I too, the reason why I didn't mention the speech of the president this afternoon, first thing is this. I am under the impression that not all of the information that is needed that is being provided to the president as for now. And so for the president to come out, I think what he did for me, that's just to quench the thirst of the Liberian to say, I am your president. I am aware of what is happening, But as soon as we get the proper information, we will inform you of what is going on. But once again, you have to understand. That's what I mentioned earlier about his soccer days in Italy. This guy, from all that I've been reading, he internalized a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Not that he can't speak, not that he's unable to respond emotionally on emotional issues such as this. However, you have to understand that all these years that he played in Europe, people call him names. People were insulting and think that he tried to, compartmentalize those kinds of statements. And I think this is something that perhaps he needs to get out of and get himself now as president of the Republic of Liberia, and perhaps feel the pain of other people. But then again, if it's not his character, why would you force that on him? This is Samson to La Brampa Radio. Let me get my clipboard over here and give me a call, 916-533-2048. My goodness. Okay. Oh. But anyway, look, folks, let's be serious for one moment. Okay. First thing, I think if you've been watching me, if you follow me, these are things that I always say. It's easier to condemn, it's easier to criticize than it is to be at the top. Because when you are at the top, you can see everything, things that you never expected, things that you didn't think this position entailed. Once you get up there, you say, oh, wow, I have to do this, I have to do that. And your involvement, your engagement is quite different than it is when you are in the opposition. So let us respect that. I will continue to say that we should give this president and the government a little latitude here, folks. Let's see how far they're going to go with it. They're not going to just, keep us in the dark. No. In fact, when you heard the Minister of Information and the Minister of Finance, like I said, I don't appreciate the tone that was taken by the Minister of Finance. I don't know him either. I don't know Minister Nabe either. But as a Liberian, I didn't appreciate that. I think it's something that unless you and I having some conflict, you can treat me like that. But you can't do this kind of thing and then Saturday morning or Sunday morning you myself go play football. I will eat your bar. I'm playing with you because you don't treat people like that. But anyway, on a very serious note, these are kinds of stuff that we hope our brothers and sisters will learn from this as a teachable moment for all of us. Samson told LeBron Public. Let me take this one. Okay. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
My name is John. I'm calling from the U.S.
You're calling from where?
From the U.S.
Oh, from the U.S. Okay, welcome. Welcome. I'm live from Town. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, look, what I want to say is that I'm on Liberia and then the brother consign when things are going wrong in Liberia, they hurt me a whole lot. I mean, I talk about my heart. Why? Because you see, Liberia is an area where we were born.
Yes.
And we have to go there once to help the build our country. But every now and then we hear by a noise.
Yes.
So it is happening.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that let all our people be patient and see into it that the proper investigation is conducted before they react. Because if they overreact, it result in something negative. Are you really getting me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, this is my contribution. Okay, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to welcome my friend and brother, Victor B. Smith. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Mr. Smith, welcome. Victor B. Smith, welcome. Former Acting Minister of Public Works is joining us. We say thank you very much, Mr. Smith. We appreciate you watching us this afternoon. Okay. Mr. Smith, I'm not talking engineer because you're here now, so I'm scared. I will not talk engineer again. I will just be talking about myself. I'm scared because I'm scared of you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyway, welcome, Mr. Smith. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Look, folks, the money issue. Anybody, if you want to call me, Mr. Smith, you're welcome to that as well. If you have any contribution to give us this afternoon, because I think you being from member of the cabinet, you probably know more. So if you have contribution to help us out, educate us, we appreciate it. You always, it doesn't matter where, you always like to educate anyway. That's what you do, and you do that well. Thank you. But anyway, folks, the Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, basically what I'm saying here, and that's what the brother just stated. Let's be patient. Let's be patient. Okay? Routing ourselves up, you know, having all of the anxiety issues and what have you will not help us. Will not help us. All we need to do, first thing, is to pray to make sure whatever it is that is happening in the country, God will take control. I believe in that because what else is he gonna do? There was an election, and these people won the election. Okay, if you don't like what is happening right now, you're just gonna have to wait until the next election, and then perhaps come out and run campaign against them and vote them out. But that's besides the point, my brothers and sisters. That's besides the point. These people were elected, even though I didn't vote. I never voted for any of them. That's fine. But they are my leaders now, and so I will pray that they're successful, no matter what. They must succeed, because if they succeed, Liberia will be successful as well. So that's my angle. Okay. Again, 916-533-2048. Call me and let's have the conversation on that. Okay. Okay. All right, folks. Okay. Mm. No, man. Okay. I'm not gonna read. But anyway, look, folks. Let's be sincere with ourselves here this afternoon. The point that I'm making here is this: I'm not here to say that I'm supporting this person, knowing fully well that perhaps people are saying they're doing wrong or whatever. That's not my point. My point here is this: the first thing is this, that the former government, the former president, under her leadership, the mother of the land, I truly believe they didn't have structure. Well, in terms of management. And one of the things that I continue to stress is this: they took advantage of the fact that UN were providing security. On mail over there. You would think that they will use that opportunity to build real institution. Instead, what do? They decide to build individuals. They decide to build individuals instead of building institutions. And so when the mother of the land was president, did you hear the kind of thing? No. Maybe it was happening. But because they built the individual and the individual know how to handle these things, you didn't hear it. But if they were to build institution, when the individual is gone, the institution going to stand. And it is the institution that will help to guide whoever is coming in to make sure they don't have these kinds of issues. So the mother of the land, the fact that she says she's angry, she's shocked, I still put it right to her doorstep. Because she did not, in my opinion, build the institution. She allowed the people to build her up as an individual. Those are the behavior of the top men, Toba, and the rest of the past government. I hope the present leadership of the Republic of Liberia will take this as a teachable moment and strengthen the institution. Don't tear it down and build individual. You said there's somebody come from the House of Representatives and bring news to you about a few other people, then you say you're turning against them. You're building individual, you're not building institution. And the sad thing is this. All of you that are in the government right now, most of you are very young. So even if you were to stay another 12 years, you're still going to be young. And then you're going to leave, the next person going to come. But the fact that you don't have structure, the fact that you do not have adequate institution, all of the individual building that you've done will no longer be there to protect your reputation, to protect your legacy. And your legacy, because it's not built on foundation of structure. It is not built on foundation of institution. It's built on individual as your foundation. So if the individual is no longer there, this foundation goes along with the individual. So all of the things that you have done, your policy and everything will crumble because you did not put in place an institution. The institution that I'm talking about, perhaps if you do it correctly, will protect your legacy. Because yes, let me give you an example. You have an institution, well built. You decide you want to build a coastal road. But because the institution is there, you have policy in place. How to build the roads, how to run, whatever it is. You have people with trucks that are they're going to be utilizing the facility. But you have weigh station. All of the institutions are there to protect what you have put in place. If you're gone, the weigh station is going to remain. I can't take 200 pounds, 4,000 ton, whatever it is, and go run on the road. I have to go through the weigh station. It's an institution that was built. But if I take somebody, you take somebody, your leader, you take somebody, strong person, to be at the station. Good, what kind of truck is it? It truck way more than that. The men start doing good. The road is protected while the individual is there. If you leave, they move that individual, here goes the integrity of that road process. Because the individual is there. He's not a way station, but because he was good in implementing your policy. But when you're gone, the institution is not there to protect the policy. Whereas the policy was being protected by individual that you put there, he's not there anymore. Institution building is one of the best things you can do. And I will continue to preach this line. Because those of you that are young and running the country, look, I'm not faulting anybody. The last time I had my own brother here, Mr. Yano was here. He's also an engineer. And I tried to say, look, why the people at public work, they're doing this, they're doing that. All of the fault that I can find as an engineer, I wrap it around the people at public work. And Mr. Yano told me, Mr. Toe, your points is well taken. But our brothers and sisters at public work, first of all, you have to sympathize with their position. What do they have to operate with? Things that perhaps you take for granted here are difficult to come by over there in Liberia. So you have to understand that these people are going through a lot just to get certain things done. And I recognize that he was right. Because I can't go to work Monday. I'm doing a project right now. Okay, the project. Where's the project? It's right here in Sacramento. Okay, this is a project that they're supposed to put. They're trying to fix the bridge. They're trying to put columns, steel columns around the concrete columns they have already to protect it from the weather, whatever it is that they're trying to do. I'm not a bridge engineer. Victor Smith is a bridge engineer, so he perhaps you know. But coming from the district, I have to come up with district items. Guardrail. Is the guardrail already there? Is it good? Are they up to standard? The excavation. They call it structure excavation. Structure going to do their own excavation. But I have to come up with all the quantities. The point is, if I'm done, all of my calculation are going to be part of that institution. At the end of the day, I have to provide the RE, the resident engineer, I have to provide them all of my RE files, all of my calculation, what it is intent, so that when the construction season start, they can look at those processes. Okay, this is what Samson told have in mind. Let's build it the way he intended it. Institution. So the next person that's gonna come 50 years from now, if they decide they want to improve on the situation, they have a foundation already to start. Institution. And so once again, let's go back to this issue. Let's consider what has happened to be a teachable moment for all of us. Institution. If you build an institution, you're not going to fail. Because in order for you to build an institution, it's not just for you alone. People are going to cooperate with you. They will be forced to, because the institution will allow these people to carry on specific function. They're not going to guess, because it's there. Institution. Folks, I think that's the line that I'm going to have to take. I think I'm enjoying this one here. Because on a very serious note, what do we do in Liberia? Political party. They build individuals. Political leader. And once the individual leave, what happened to the party? Look at Unity Party right now. They're still fighting among themselves. If Dr. Weah leaves tomorrow, what will happen to CDC? It's an individual. CDC, you can say CDC is an institution. Yeah, okay. I'll take your word for it. But this is what we do in Liberia. Do we party? Individual. NDPL, individual. NPFL, whatever they call it, individual. Unity Party, individual. There has not been any kinds of a political party that is based on institution. Power try, but I don't know how far they got. So again, folks, this is Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I just thought that I put this thing out there so you'll be able to see it, because it is good to have an institution, and because we lack institution building capacity in Liberia, we're facing with these kinds of stuff in this country. I'm going to tell you this other story, true story. When I was going to school in Ohio, I was working for the bank. They call it Citizen Bank at the time. So what they did was, they had me driving this unmarked car. I'm going to divulge the information now because I'm not working for them anymore. But I used to go to the rural villages and collect money from these banks, put it in an unmarked car. Just any ordinary car. In fact, the car was a beater car, just so people don't rob me. I will come, take that money from the village, come to the bank on a Saturday afternoon, and they got all the information already, put it together, and I take it down to Cleveland, Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. True story. In fact, I don't know what I put in, but I have strap dollars, where they give it to me in the pack. But I'll take the money to Federal Reserve Bank. And when you go to the bank, true story, as you're driving, Cleveland, in downtown Cleveland, Federal Reserve Bank, as soon as they open the gate, the first gate they open, you enter, there's a gate ahead of you. They got all your holes where the people have their guns pointing at you. And you give the security code. They make sure it matches what they have in your name. Then they open the second gate. By that time, the gate behind you is closed. You start foolishness. Total people can't collect your body right there. They're going to fool around with you. But when you go in, and then you unload your whatever you have. With all the tag, you pass them on. And I saw where they spread the money, where they do the printing, whatever it is. I saw all of that. But the point that I'm making is this. It's an institution. Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. If you have $1 with you right now, open the dollar note and they will tell you which one of the Federal Reserve Bank that they printed our money from. They will tell you whether it's in Cleveland, New York, or they have California. Whenever they have the Federal Reserve Bank, they will tell you what Federal Reserve Bank is printed on. And they have all those serious numbers. That's institution. It's been happening for years and years. Ronald Reagan time, it was happening. Donald Trump time is still happening. Donald Trump can now go to the bank and say, I want you to print this amount of money. They don't work like that. Institution. We go around here, call ourselves educated people. Oh, I got the master's degree. I got the PhD. But we can't build institution. We can't. The next topic, next Monday, let me just introduce that topic right away. The Chinese government giving Africa, I think, $60 billion for infrastructure and other things. But guess what? The U.S. government the federal is getting ruffled, and that's going to be a very interesting subject matter Monday when I read. Because here's what we don't want. We don't want the fighting between Chinese and the American, and you, Liberia, get caught in the middle. You don't want that. But that will be my next topic. But I thought I'd introduce that. So these things are deeper. If you build an institution, the institution will be able to withstand whatever it is that comes away. Because the institution is not an individual. It's an entity that have policy, and the policy must be obeyed in order for the institution to stand. And we call ourselves educated people. We have our brothers and sisters live right here. Some of them sacrifice, go to Liberia to have a company, and they're running behind their fellow Liberians for contracts because there's no institution. These are all individuals. But because they were friendly with certain individual last time, the individual is no longer there. Another person comes in, he changed everything around. Institution building. Institution building, you don't have that. You have consistency. That's the difference between institution and individual. Individual, inconsistency. Institution, consistency. This is Sam Sinto. I think I've been here for quite a while here now, folks. Let me let you go. I want to thank all of you again tonight that have been following us. We say thank you very much. We appreciate it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon, folks. If you have to go somewhere, we know. But the fact that you stay with us and watch us, we say we appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon. But before I leave, let me say this one more time. Please, the government of Liberia is all we have now. The election is not coming up right now. Let's give these young people the opportunity to lead us. I'm not saying you should trust them. I'm not saying that you should allow them to run you over. You can't question. But don't try to start something that perhaps will not be suitable for all of us. Yeah, you want to do your demonstration, you can do your demonstration. But at what cost? Have you asked yourself that? There are people, what do we have in Liberia to produce? We depend on investors. But if we continue to fight among ourselves, if we continue to have these wrangling things of false error, the investors are saying, yeah, you know what, people are not ready. I'm taking my money somewhere else. That's their money. They want something in return. What do you have to give? But through the investors, you will be able to achieve a lot. Most specifically, the raw condition. So once again, let me ask all of you, my brothers and sisters, to say, please, let's give the government a chance. I'm pleading with all of you. I got nothing in here I'm not ready to retire. I'm going to be in America for quite a while. But it's my country. And I want this government to succeed. We can criticize, but let's be responsible in our criticism. We can criticize, but let's be realistic in our criticism. You're criticizing someone and you're saying something that perhaps you yourself would not be able to maintain. Then you're not being honest. And you're not being real. Okay, we have won the election, fair, clean, and everything else. Let's give these young people the opportunity. You saw when they have issue with the Minister of Information and the Finance Minister, he was able to put it together. They have the ability to lead. Let's give them the opportunity. Let's continue to hold their feet to the fire. I'm not saying let out, but be responsible in doing so. Because why? If this government fail, we all fail. If Liberia is not stable, where do you think you're going to go? You stay right here. So let us have that in mind. With the money issue, let's trust that these people will have this situation resolved. This is Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again this evening. Been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Let's see how far we're going to go. This is Sam Sinto. I want to thank you very much for tuning in this evening. Thank you very much for tuning in to LIBERIA Public Radio. Let's go ahead and hold on one. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, and then we'll say thank you very much. Tune in again Monday. Let's do it again. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio.
Regina Peana, hey yo, baby, Sabatia na yo,
ya ne awo yo be. Sabaji ya na